And we are live. Here we go. All right. There we go. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Covenant Canon in my new crib. As you can see, got a whole bunch of Covenant and Banished stuff in the background there. Oh, sorry about that. That's interrupted the thing there. So yeah, this is the first Q&A in my new crib. So, yeah, this is a very exciting time. I'm gonna be, like always, if you guys checked out my previous streams, I will be reading out every question from Covenant Canon's Q&A on our Discord channel. If you guys want to know where to find the Discord, it's in the link in the description below. So if you guys want to join up, just hanging around with all of us Covenant fans, we got a bunch of stuff there. Star Wars, the Halo TV series, and just talking about Halo in general and other stuff. But for today, we're going to be playing, instead of Halo Infinite, I decided to play some Halo 2 Anniversary as the Arbiter. Thought it'd be very fitting, given the fact that this is a Covenant channel and I'm a big Saint Healy fanboy. And yeah, I've been tired of playing as the Chief. I want to play as a Saint Healy, goddammit. So I will do that right now. Before I do that, let me see if I can get the Q&A from Discord up here. There we go. And let me get the live feed from YouTube. There we go. So here we go. All right. So now let's get going. Let's play. And if you guys have any problem with like the sound, all that, please let me know in the comments of the YouTube channel. That way I can know exactly what to fix and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get going. I'm just gonna skip all that. Just gonna scroll up here. Oh, sorry about that. Right, so let me just scroll up. Oh.
How much further must we lift this baggage?
Right, hold on. Okay, I think. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry about that.
What about us? My belly.
All right, let's skip all that. There we go.
We are the arm of the prophets, Arbiter, and you are the blade.
Okay, so the first question is from Charlie B. He asked, if you could take any character from the expanded universe and put them in a game or TV series, who would you pick? Now, that's a very interesting question. My first answer for that would be, I would honestly, if I were to make it to a TV series or all that, or to a game, I would have to say I would probably recreate either Halo Broken Circle's story into a game or a TV series. I think that would be very good, very cool to explore upon the origins of the Covenant and the Saint Healy dissidents led by Usa Zealous. My second pick would have to be Shadow of Intent, because I honestly just love Artos Vadum, who we're hearing right now, and the Scion, Tul'Jaran, and with the Prelate and all that stuff. I really want a more expansive story arc with the Covenant, because I feel like out of all the stories in Halo, I think the Covenant, the Saint Healy, and all that always get the short end of the stick, where we always get UNSC or Forerunner stuff. Okay, so Charlie B asks again, what are Nakai's thoughts on Caster and the Keepers of the One Freedom, if he has ever encountered or heard of them in the past? In present, Nakai doesn't really know about the Keepers. He's heard whispers about them, but everything he's heard about them, he kind of thinks of them as ignorant, small-minded fools who pretty much still worship the Great Journey, which at the end of the day, it's pretty much BS, pretty much. And while he would applaud the use of humans in their faction, I still don't think Nakai would really have a general good opinion of any Covenant Remnant group in general, because any faction that still believes in the Great Journey, I think Nakai would view with distrust at the very least, or at the very worst, with hatred, pretty much. Oh, shit. Well, I just got killed there. And, oh, we got our first question from Supreme Commander here. He says, how big of a I can't speak right now. I'm sorry, guys. So how big of a okay, I'm just going to say this right now. How big of a ground force would a CSO have? In terms of a ground invasion force, I would say a CSO would pretty much have, like, the ground forces of a small army, of a small fleet, I mean. Because a CSO, that's pretty much the size of it's pretty much the size of a city. I don't remember the actual crew size of a CSO or the complement of troops it has from, like, I think either war fleets or from the Halo Encyclopedia. Oh, god damn it, I got killed again. Hold on, let me see if I can change the settings here. Oh, it's on normal. Okay. Oh, it's on normal. That's why. I suck at normally. That's why I'm always at easy, because I'm such a scrub lord. Oh my god. Die already. There we go. Alright, there we go. So, like I said, I think a CSO would pretty much have the complements of a small army, or a small fleet. I keep screwing that up. Yeah, of a small fleet. Because a CSO, it's a huge ship. It's not like a CAS or a CCS class ship. It's a big ship. But yeah, I think a small fleet, I think that's the amount of complementary troops a CSO would generally have in an invasion force. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. That's it. Energy store time. Okay, so Charlie B asked, what would you prefer for Halo Infinite if it ever happened? Playable elites or playable brutes? Playable elites. I'm always gonna support playable elites through and through. I've always done that, and I will not change my opinion on that matter. Playable brutes, though, that would be very fun to have. But like I said, that would be a secondary wish for me. But yeah, playable elites, because we haven't seen them since Halo Reach, and I want them back. I want them back with every fiber of my being. I swear by my 2 Saint Healy hearts in this game. Okay, so Dragon Actual asks, beam rifle or stalker rifle, lore-wise? Now, in terms of lore-wise, I would choose the beam rifle. That's an easy choice for me, but in terms of gameplay-wise, I would say the stalker rifle, because honestly, I love playing that thing. I honestly think it's a better sniper rifle than the beam rifle in terms of gameplay-wise, but lore, the beam rifle has it has a very fascinating lore. I don't remember that at the top of my head, but yeah. Okay, so let me... Oh! Yeah, just get these guys. Oh, all right. So I'm just going to pause it here so I can scroll down a bit. Sorry. Sorry about that. I'm just going to scroll down over here. Okay, got it. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So... Oh, God damn it. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, how would Nakai operate his ORS? what kind of tactics would he had while he was a shipmaster? In terms of tactics, like how would he run his ship as a shipmaster? Nakai he was kind of like Artas Vadam. He would care about the troops under his command, even the Ungoi. Before Nakai came around, the Ungoi within his ship, the Swift Punishment, they were kind of treated very poorly, like any other Ungoi were under the Saint Healy's command. Nakai pretty much reformed. He reformed like how the crew would operate with Ungoi. He would treat them with more respect. Nakai pretty much pitied the Ungoi. That's why he's always he was pretty much a softie for Ungoi under his command. And how he would operate as a shipmaster. Honestly, he would just function like a normal shipmaster. He wasn't very. See, his main his best attributes was as a ground commander, not as a fleet commander. He certainly knew how to operate a ship. He knew how to command forces. But naval engagements weren't really his thing, I would say. He's more of an experienced ground commander, if anything else. But yeah. Okay, so right, Supreme Commander asks again, what's your favorite Halo game if we weren't talking about elites? Oh, there's a wart. My favorite game if we weren't talking about elites, still Halo 2. Honestly, I would say Halo 2. It always has a special place in my heart. But aside from the Arbiter story, Master Chief story was pretty good. In terms of my second favorite Halo game, that if we weren't talking about elites, Halo Infinite. I really love the campaign. I love Escharum. I love the Banished. I love the story with Chief, the weapon, and the pilot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so Charlie B asked, what UNSC ship type would Nakai use for a naval battle if given the choice? A UNSC ship? That's a very good question. I would say either a Halcyon class light cruiser, like the Pillar of Autumn from Halo Combat Evolved, or a Halberd class destroyer from the books, like the UNSC Iroquois that Captain Keyes commanded before captaining the Pillar of Autumn. That's just a rough guess. I don't really have much aside from those ships. No really ship has really caught my attention that much. Oh, and this is not a topic on the questions, but fun fact, actually, in the Halo Encyclopedia, the Heretic faction led by Sessa Rufumi, the Heretic leader, according to the Encyclopedia, after the Covenant War the Arbiter pretty much granted special dispensation to his clan after the Great Schism. So he's pretty much helping out Sessa Rofumi's clan even during the Blooding Years, the Saint Healy Civil War. So that's that's one particular piece of lore on the Encyclopedia that I really appreciate. Got explored more, especially into such a minor character such as Sessa. Go. Whoa. Hold on. Let me just get back to the corner so I can answer some of these questions. Okay, so Supreme Commander asked, I probably asked this already, but I'm going to ask again. Would an SOS and UNSC joint fleet have a mixture of ships within them, like a CSO to Halcyons, etc.? Is this canonical one in the canon? aside from the Ascendant Justice and that UNSC frigate that was in Halo First Strike, there hasn't been any merging UNSC ship and Covenant ship together. And in terms of any joint efforts between the UNSC and the Swords of Saint Helios, I can't see any mixture of ship types, like new ships, mixtures within the within like any joint operation, honestly. But there has been exchange of technologies between the two factions, like war game simulations within the Shadow of Intent, if that counts. And there is a couple of Swords of Saint Helios serving aboard the UNSC Infinity, at least that we know of. Oh, there we go. But aside from those elements, there hasn't really been any merging UNSC naval. How did I die there? I don't even know how I died. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right, so next question. Supreme Commander, surprise, surprise, asks again, what's your favorite dropship operated by the Covenant or Covenant splinter groups? I think my all-time favorite has to be the Covenant Lich, the Lich from Halo 4. Honestly, I just love the lore behind those ships. I love the design patterns. But if I were to give out my second opinion on that matter, I would say the Phantoms. They're just iconic, to quote in Xperia. But my third favorite would be the Spirit. I got nothing against the Spirits. I just think they don't look that they don't really look that noticeable to me. But that's my opinion on the matter. But yeah, Lich first, Phantom second, and Spirit is my third. So yeah. Okay, so Charlie B asked, what would you say are your favorite reveals from the Halo Encyclopedia? My favorite reveals in the Halo Encyclopedia have to be, if I were to give my guess, if I would have to choose, actually, that's a very good question. More detailed information on the Covenant Fringe, the different species types within the Fringe, and the introduction of a new species, the Drazim. The Drazim, I think they're called, actually. Fun fact, actually, I will be making my next video that I'm working on that's not in relation to the Halo TV series. My next video is going to be going over the Covenant Fringe based from the new information that we got from the encyclopedia. So that's going to be out very soon. So yeah. But if I were to give another big reveal that I really enjoyed, it's more information into the structure of the Banished. Such as example, like their military strength, their leadership structure, and the fact that they pretty much united Doisak and and most of their moons behind the Banished. Most, not all, but yeah, it's very interesting to get more information on the Banished, seeing as that's honestly one of my favorite Covenant splinter groups, even though they're technically not Covenant splinter groups, but they kind of are. But I digress. But yeah. Okay, so next question. Chen asked, what would Saint Healy be like if they never founded the Covenant and became an interstellar empire by themselves? honestly, if the Covenant was never founded, I would imagine the Saint Healy race would pretty much like before the Covenant, they established many colonies. I think they established like 78 colonies before the war beginnings began. The war that pretty much brought about the formation of the Covenant. If it weren't for the Covenant, the Saint Healy pretty much would have been the same. They probably would have still retained their pre-Covenant faith, which pretty much like Forerunner objects are sacred but not to be touched. But aside from that, like I don't really see like any new information, like anything different that would happen from the Saint Healy if they never founded the Covenant. Obviously the old events of Halo would have been changed without the Covenant, because the Covenant is pretty much the main focus, one of the main factions of Halo, like since the beginning. But yeah, like it's kind of hard to speculate what the Covenant would be like, what the Saint Healy would be like without the Covenant. But if I were to make my guess, it would pretty much be the same interstellar empire that we had in Halo, that we had before the Sanshum arrived. So yeah. Okay, Supreme Commander asks again, should at least be given... Oh, hold on, let me skip this cutscene. Okay, so let me just see here. So Supreme Commander asks, should the elites be given the power of the Mjolnir? Not sure if you're meaning Mjolnir the armor types or Mjolnir Thor's hammer. If it's the former, yeah, I would say the Saint Healy would pretty much, they could do with some Mjolnir if they mixed up their power armor with, or their combat harnesses with Mjolnir. I mean, they've done it in Halo 3 with the Anvil Initiative. They made their own custom UNSC armor, if anything like that. Like, in terms of Mjolnir, like, yeah, I guess. If it's like with Mjolnir the hammer, I'm not sure they would be worthy. But I digress. Okay, so let me just pause this so I can scroll down a little bit. If you see my text, I apologize. Just scroll down here. All right, here we go. All right. So, Chen asks, what is the Saint Healy's favorite or most tolerable human weapon, if anything? Good question. That's a very good question, actually. I have no idea. The only weapon I've ever seen a Saint Healy try to use was an assault rifle from Henry, the Saint Healy from Halo Evolution's The Mona Lisa. So if I were to make a guess, I guess the assault rifle? I honestly have no idea what other kind of weapon the Saint Healy would like or tolerate, if anything else. Maybe the cross species weapons that we got in Halo 5. I mean, that's the only thing I could really see being their favorite or tolerable weapon. So, yeah. Okay, so Nomad Galileo asks, how many grunts does it take to screw in a light bulb? Say a whole clutch, because Ungoi are pretty much dumb for the most part. Not all of them, but I would say a good chunk of Ungoi are not that bright, so I would say a bunch would take into screwing a light bulb. But, yeah. Okay, so Chen asks, can you name a few Jirohane that are considered honorable by general standards? And did any Jirohane decide not to join the prophets in the Great Schism? I heard some did, but not detailed mentioned. honorable Saint or honorable Jirohanai. That's a very good question, actually. I think the closest thing to an honorable Jirohanai that we've seen thus far has been Caster from the Ferret trilogy. He's a genocidal zealot, or rather was, but I wouldn't say he was. I wouldn't call him a bloodthirsty savage either. So, if anything, I would compare Caster as the closest thing to, if any, to an honorable Jirohanai. And in terms of any brutes that sided with the Saint Healy during the Great Schism, I believe like a very minority few of them did, but I think those were just Jirohanai serfs that served Saint Healy Kaidons in the Kilo 5 books. I don't know in full detail about these few Jirohanai. At least in my opinion, I don't quite remember that. But like any Jirohanai siding with Saint Healy, I guess that's the only thing I could really compare good Jirohanai would be. Okay. So, Supreme Commander asks, what is your favorite splinter group if the swords are not counted? The Banished. Very easy. The Banished is my second favorite. Oh, sorry, Saint Healy. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Banished, I would count, if they were counted as a Covenant splinter group, I would honestly say if anything, I would say the Banished is my favorite Covenant splinter group. I love that the fact that they're not like religious zealots. They're more like conquering, like they're not interested in any religious practices. Their primary goal is power and conquest and quote unquote freedom, though they have a very Jirohanai way about it. So yeah, the Banished is my favorite Covenant splinter group. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks again, when you first saw Halo, were you blinded by His Majesty? I wouldn't say blinded, but I would say I was kind of paralyzed and dumbstruck a little bit. Yeah, I would say paralyzed and a bit dumbstruck. So, yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks again, do the elites smoke or drink, and if so, what do they smoke and drink? I don't think Saint Healy have the capability of smoking, but if they were drinking something, I imagine they would have some kind of beverage. I have no idea what kind of beverage they would have, but in terms of smoking, I think the Sanchum are the only species that I know of have like tobacco. Their kind of tobacco. What kind it is, I don't generally know, but I do know that before he was the High Prophet of Truth, Ord Casto pretty much smoked a bunch of weed, or Covenant weed, back in the day when he was the Minister of Fortitude, if that counts. What? How did I die then? What? Oh my god. Okay, so next question. Optimal Elite 77 asks, what did Nakai's fleet composition look like at the height of its power, and when was the height of his power? I'm assuming you're referring to Nakai's fleet, like after the Covenant War, like, or during its time in the Covenant, like the Vodar fleet. I think that's what he's asking. If that is the case, I would say the height of the Vodar fleet was pretty much obviously during the Covenant era, in which it had a couple corvettes in its fleet. But after the Covenant War, I would say Nakai pretty much has like its fleet has been cut in half, pretty much. To only a couple corvettes, Covenant grade corvettes, and Nakai's personal flagship, the Swift Punishment, which is now known as Earth's Judgment. But Nakai has compiled some wealth to gather some of the Halo 5 blockade runners. So I would say, like I said, to answer the jump. How? Did I seriously just get team killed? That's you, fool. But yeah, the height of Nakai's fleet was during the Human Covenant War era. And it was pretty much composited of a few corvettes in its arsenal. So yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, what did Nakai focus on as the commander of his ship? What was its strategy, the lives of his crew, or something else? I kind of answered this question earlier, but as the shipmaster, Nakai was pretty much focused on the conduct of his crew. He wanted to make better conditions for the Ungoi under his command. Like, he wasn't really noticeable as a naval commander, but as a ground commander, if anything else. I think Nakai's main focus was the morale of his men. I think that was like the chief focus of Nakai. If his warriors were primed and ready, motivated, I think that would have been his prime focus. But he would also dedicate some time with learning a bit of the studying the Hurgok under his command. Those who would help repairs or maintaining the ship. So yeah. All right, so Supreme Commander asks, what is your favorite subject in school? History. Yep. That is my favorite subject in general. If it's high school, college, and all that, I just love like European history and all that stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna pause here so that I can scroll down a bit more. All right, so, okay, there we go. There we are. All right, so Supreme Commander asks, did the Saint Healy have their own AIs like the humans have? Smart or dumb AIs? Generally, no. The Saint Healy really didn't have AIs because, well, probably the same reason why the Covenant didn't have AIs, because of their interpretation of the logic plague from the Forerunner era. But they did had some AIs. Oh my! As I was saying, the Covenant did had AIs, but they were considered dumb by UNSC standards. Like, say, for example, the Truth and Reconciliation AI, that was considered a dumb AI by Covenant standards. Whoa, come on. Sorry, guys. I gotta take this for a second. Ugh. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way. All right. So, what's the next question? All right, so Supreme Commander asks again, do you want to hear a joke? 2 + 2 equals fish.
Our foes multiply.
Supreme Commander, That's terrible. Moving on. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks again. He asks again, how common are the different blade shaped variants the Saint Healy use, like the Prophet's Bane, etc.? I believe this was explored in the Halo Encyclopedia, but to my knowledge, oh, hold on a minute. Hold on, man. I'm getting a lot of spam over here, so I'm just gonna take this moment to get rid of that. Getting rid of you. Remove. 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 And remove. Okay, moving on. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to remove some spam. I don't like spam, so please don't do spam. Please. Thank you very much. Okay, so to answer your question, Supreme Commander, it was explored a bit in the Encyclopedia, but Saint Healy can customize their energy swords. That's why we see different sword variants in the other Halo games. But I think the practice of different shapes and colors was more explored after the Covenant collapsed. But in terms of how of their commoncy, during the Covenant War, I would say it was pretty much more team killing. Come on. Oh my god. But in terms of common, it was somewhat common during the Covenant era, but more uniformly common. But in terms of when the Covenant collapsed, I would say it was more frequent. So yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks again, what obscure Saint Healy lore is there that the majority might not be aware of? Minor Saint Healy lore? Very good question. I think that many people are not really aware of is that Saint Healy, I'm not sure if this is obscure that many don't know of, but I think this is a very misconception that Saint Healy women, they don't have breasts. I think, like, I've seen a lot of different arts depict Saint Healy women as have breasts and all that, and like hairlines, and this is a common misconception that they don't have breasts, they don't have any of that stuff. They're pretty much the only difference between Saint Healy males and females is that females are pretty much more slimmer. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else aside from Saint Healy women, aside from how trimmed they are. So yeah. Okay, so we got some new questions here. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks what. Okay, this question is already answered already. It's about more of the Saint Healy of Nakai's fleet. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that question was already asked. So I'm just gonna move on from that one to his second question. Are there former Silent Shadow members within the Sword of Saint Helios? I would imagine that most of them would keep their honor after the war and supposedly went back to Saint Helios to rejoin their clans after the war and supposedly joined the Swords. Right now, the only bits of lore that we got from the Sword of Saint Helios, or the Silent Shadow after the Covenant War collapsed, is that Resha Azavel's Silent Shadow didn't join up with the Arbiter. They pretty much went on a killing spree against the Jirohanai and his men betraying him and joining the Banished when they moved against Atriox. In terms of their allegiance to other members aligning with the Swords, I mean, it's possible, but for the most part, it seems like many ex-Silent Shadows are more siding with the Banished, seeing as they're more bent on bloodshed and killing, instead of pursuing a peaceful and honorable career within the Swords of Saint Helios. Oh, come on. Okay, so... Okay. Mitsu the Ungoi asks... Sorry, I'm really trying to pronounce that name correctly. For the noble Kaidan, Nakai Vodar, I have a morality question. If in battle you were focused to choose between having an honorable victory at the cost of more lives, be them of your own warriors or civilians or otherwise, or would you rather fight on in less honorable ways to save more lives? So, I think, in terms of battle, I think Nakai would rather choose the former tactic. He's a warrior. He was always taught to be more honorable, but I would think he would also try to save as much lives as possible while still approaching a more honorable stance. Kind of like the Starks from Game of Thrones. Like, I think he would have a mindset like that, but I think he would also want to pursue an honorable course in his life, because after the Covenant War, he pretty much felt like he lost his honor, that he pretty much disgraced everything a Vodar Saint Healy should stand for. But yeah, I think he would more choose the former route rather than the Oh, where you going, Urtos? I want your sword. Urtos, come on. All right. There we go. There we go. I'm just gonna try and cloak my way again, and let the Sentinels and the Flood go at each other's throats. Okay. So, Defiant Xeno asks, oh, shit. No. Okay, I just got pushed off. Okay, so Defiant Xeno asks, Kaidan of Vodar, what would happen if Rippo Mormi was still alive and he was with the dreaded Banished? If Rippo was still alive and joined the Banished, I think his strategy would pretty much be the same as he was during the Covenant. He would be a brutal Saint Healy commander who would be more focused on overwhelming odds and pretty much accounting the largest amount of bloodshed they can, because unlike most Saint Healy, Rippa doesn't care about honor. He's bloodthirsty, he's brutal, he's pretty much everything the Saint Healy aren't. So if he were to join with the Banished, he would pretty much be like any other Saint Healy that we've seen thus far that are affiliated with the Banished. A very brutal and bloodthirsty Saint Healy. So yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, do you have any lore on the Scions? Can you give any? If there is lore on the Scions, Saint Healy Scions. Scions pretty much were the daughters of Saint Healy Kaidans, I believe. Or I believe they were like the highest ranking female warrior within a Saint Healy keep. Like Tul Duran, she was the daughter of the former Kaidan of Ranello, and she was like in her early 20s, I believe, or early teens. and I believe there were a bunch of scions that served aboard Anvil Station during the post-war era before the Created Uprising began. But I think that's the only bit of lore that I got on the scions. Okay, so hold on a minute. Let me just pause again so I can scroll down and get to more questions. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, is there any different energy weapons the Saint Healy use other than swords? Yes, indeed, they do. They did. They had energy lances that Tul'Daran used. They had, I believe, energy daggers from Halo. Oh. That was very dumb on my part. I'm so sorry. It was very dumb on my part. But to answer your question, there is also the energy daggers from Halo Reach. If there's any other energy weapons the Saint Healy used, I can't think of anything else really up top of my head. Oh, hold on a minute. Let me just scroll down here so I can chase after Sessa. There we go. Okay. All right. So, Supreme Commander asks, what banished vehicle do you want to make their way to as DLC? Banished vehicle. Blisterbacks. I think those were my favorite banished vehicle from Halo. Hold on a minute. Getting more spam. Hold on one moment, guys. I am so sorry for pausing. I hate spammers, so hold on. Let me see if I can ban this person. No, hide. Let me see. Remove. 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 And there we go. Haha, here we go. All right, I got him. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so what was the second? Okay, so yep, the vehicle I would like to see return in any DLC for Infinite, the Blisterbacks, definitely. Okay, so Dark. Oh, jeez, there's a bunch of these flood things. No! Die, you pieces of shit! Oh, this is why I really hate the flood. This is why I really don't like the flood at all. This is why I much prefer the Prometheans over the flood. Sorry, guys, if you were flood fans, but I really don't like the flood. Just gotta chase my way out of here. Okay, so Dark Vex asks, to the great Nakai Vodar, what do you think about the Arbiter in general? He's my favorite character. He's my favorite character in Halo in general. I love his character development from Halo 2. I like the fact that he was the one who killed Truth in Halo in Halo 3. And I love the fact that he's the leader of the Saint Healy now. And despite getting a very limited appearance in Halo 5, I loved his armor. I loved seeing Saint Helios and seeing his forces absolutely kicking the shit out of Julim Dama's group. And I hope I'm really excited to see him again in Halo Outcast, which, if you guys haven't seen the latest canon fodder, is delayed to next year. I was really bummed about this, but there is a reason behind that. Troy Denning is getting heart surgery. So yeah, while I'm disappointed about that, I completely understand why that's happening. So yeah. All right, let's get through these Sessa clones. Come on. Ah! Die, you bastard! No! Oh, that was bad. Okay. Right. Defiant Zeno asks, do the Banished have Covenant vampires in their army? As in the Covenant Vehicles from Halo Wars 1 that no one talks about that much. To my knowledge, no, the Banished do not have vampires in their arsenal. They don't really have much Covenant vehicles aside from standard vehicles. Oh, okay, got all the clones out of the way. Let's take care of Sessa himself. Sorry, Sessa, I love you, but you had to die. I will take care of your clan, Sessa. As described in the encyclopedia, I will take care of your clan. Sorry about that, buddy. Okay. All right, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, should the Saint Healy should the Saint Healy really be shared with Spartan armor? The question remains, how will Saint Healy be able to live their lives peacefully with humanity after the war with the Created and the Endless? Yeah, honestly, I think the Saint Healy really should be sharing peaceful coexistence with humans, because if they didn't, the UNSC would pretty much rely on Oni to take care of the problem, which, as many of you know from the Kilo 5 books, they pretty much wanted to instigate a civil war and pretty much poison Saint Healy crop and farm animals. So, unless you guys want to see that, then yeah, peaceful coexistence is a necessity. Like, I mean, there's really no silver lining behind it, really. Okay. So, Supreme Commander asks, is Oni still trying to undermine the elites? After Parandowski relieved command of Oni, and let me just plug that up. There we go. After Parandowski was replaced by Osman, I don't believe there was any more sabotaging Saint Healy operations. Aside from the assassination of Avu Metelkam, there wasn't really much subterfuge from Oni under Osman's command. I mean, if anything, they've been more progressive with the Saint Healy, given the Anvil Initiative, the Onyx co-settlement with Paxopolis. So yeah, I don't think Oni is at the moment undermining the Saint Healy at all, really. Oh, Sentinels! Sorry. Gotta take care of these guys. Okay. Right, just gotta get into this hole here. Okay. So Alistor6531 asks, since Delvedom and Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 have similar stories, who would you think would win in a fight between the two? Oh, that's a very difficult question, actually. Honestly, I would say Raiden would, given the fact that Raiden pretty much, he's taken on like bigger things than the Arbiter, and as much as I love Velvedom, I can't really see Raiden losing against Thel, honestly. As much as I love Thel, I have to give this round to Raiden. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, so sorry about that, guys. Okay, so JMC asks, who would you think in the Halo universe? Okay, hold on. Let me see this question again. What would you think in Halo anime series following a multi-species mercenary crew fighting various Covenant and human terrorist organizations? I mean, what you're describing pretty much sounds like the Banished, if anything else. Like, I can't really see a multi-species group fighting against Covenant remnant. Aside from the Swords of St. Helios and the UNSC joining forces in the joint occupied zone in the expanded universe, I think that's the only thing I could see an anime series following, I guess. Hold on. Gotta take care of this big-ass Sentinel boss. Okay, there we go. Okay, so while I'm taking this time here, all right. So Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, "What is the Saint Healy? What's the Saint Healy military doctrine like?" It's pretty much like military discipline. Don't seek medical attention. Advance in rank by number of kills, and pretty much serve the prophets. It's a very big question to answer, but honestly, that's kind of the gist of it, really. Okay, so Alistair asks, and what's your opinion on time travel and dimension traveling being canon in Halo because of the Harbinger's ability to manipulate and control time and space? I don't think that's what the Endless do, time travel. I don't think that's what the Endless do. I think people are really overanalyzing the legendary ending of Halo Infinite. I don't think the Endless can control time or dimension manipulation or anything like that. I don't see them doing anything like that. I think it was kind of explained what they can control in the encyclopedia. I think it was called the living time or something like that. It was it's a forerunner concept or a precursor concept. But I don't, but time travel and all that, no. I don't see the Endless having that kind of ability, if anything like that. Okay. So, let me just pause here so I can scroll down and get to the other questions. Right. Hold on one moment. Okay. Okay, so define Xeno asks, Vodar, what is your opinion on the Drekar banished ship, and is it a banished supercarrier from Shadows of Reach? My opinion on the ship, it's pretty cool lore-wise. And the second question is, no, it's not the supercarrier. The Drekar it's a stealth ship. If anything, it's not so much a supercarrier by comparison, but more closely related to a prowler, to a UNSC prowler, if anything else. I don't see them being the supercarrier model at present. We don't really know what kind of model the supercarrier is. Like, my best guess would be the same supercarrier model that we saw in Halo Reach. But I honestly could be wrong on that matter. So, yeah. Okay, so... Alistair, oh, hold on. Before I answer your question further, let me take care of this big-ass Sentinel boss. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh, damn it. Okay, so Alistair6531 asks, what is your favorite Halo mod so far? My favorite Halo mod is pretty much allowing you to be blind to enemy AIs. That has really helped me out a lot with gathering footage of different models from different Halo games, like Infinite, Halo 2 Anniversary, and all that stuff. But I also really like the AI Forge battles that you can do in Halo 3. I particularly like having Saint Healy going against Zero Hunite groups. I'm sorry, hold on one moment. I gotta take care of this spammer again. I gotta figure out a way of banning this guy. I am so sorry, people. All right, reports. All right. There we go. Reports. There we go. You are reported, and I'm going to be removing all these comments. I'm so sorry, people. Remove. And remove. There we go. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, do you want the Elite DLC for Infinite to go on St. Helios and then show us civilian side for the Elites? Typically, yes, I would always welcome a return to St. Helios, and I would obviously love to see St. Healy civilians live normal lives. But in terms of a actual DLC story, that's very difficult to do in terms of a Halo Infinite DLC, really. Yeah. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, how many Lekgolo are there within the Swords of St. Helios, if there are any? I do believe there are some Mecha Lekgolo serving the Swords of St. Helios right now. How many there are? I can only guess. Probably a minimal amount of them, really. But your guess is as good as mine, man, in terms of how many are serving with the swords at the moment. Oh, oh. We gotta jump around these big floaty bastards. Shit, shit, shit. I'm gonna die. Yep, I'm dead. I hate the flood, really. I hate it so much. Okay, so Alistair asks, if Transformers end up stepping into the Halo universe, which vehicle or creature would you imagine the Autobots and Decepticons gaining alt modes from? Obviously, the Autobots will be sporting the UNSC stuff like Warthogs, aerial vehicles, etc. And for Decepticons, I could definitely see them sporting Banished Vehicles in terms of their alt modes. Oh my god, this guy. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on one moment. Why are you doing this? Hold on. Why is this spammer? I'm so sorry about this, guys. I need to block this guy. I need to know how to hide this user from the channel. Okay. Okay, there we go. Haha, there we go. I figured it out. Sorry about that, guys. Where was the question? Okay, yep, I already answered that question. Okay. Haha, finally avoid those big floaty bits. I'm just gonna speed rush through all this stuff. Alright. Alright, Charlie B asks, if you ever think do you think of an alternate universe for your characters? Nakai joined the Banished, etc. Honestly, yes, I have considered alternate universes for Nakai, but not in that manner. I'm thinking of like Silver Timeline Nakai from the Halo TV series. Like, I could definitely see him looking like that Kaidan warrior that we saw in Halo, in the first 2 episodes of Halo the series. I mean, I could definitely see him looking like that Kaidan. But yeah. Okay, so Alistair asks, how would you imagine if Tartarus heeded Thel's words about the prophets lying to them and actually joining him and humanity to stop truth? I mean, it's possible that Tartarus would have been persuaded, but given what we saw in Halo 2, probably unlikely given his zeal. But if he were to side with Thel, I mean, Truth would have been in a much more difficult position because Tartarus was pretty much the leader of the brutes within the Covenant. And if he were to join Thel in rebellion, I would probably guess a good chunk of Jerohanai would side with him. Probably not a lot, but a great many. Okay. Okay. All right. Before I move on, let's answer some more questions. Defiant Zeno asks, what would happen if a group of the Swords of St. Helios elites found out that Oni helped out the servants of the Abiding Truth and told their UNSC allies about this? I would imagine they would be pretty pissed off. The Arbiter certainly would have been pissed off. The UNSC would probably launch a full inquiry about that matter. And Parandowski would probably even tried as a war criminal, maybe. Though, knowing Oni, I would probably guess you would probably lay the blame on Kilo 5, as they would probably label them as rogue elements, anti-Saint Healy elements. But yeah, the UNSC and the Swords would probably be a diplomatic crisis, if anything else. Okay, so hold on one moment. I'm just gonna pause ahead again. Sorry about that, so I can scroll on down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Alistair asks, since the Endless are lesser precursors, what are your thoughts on the idea of the Endless and the Flood being closely related as cousin species because they are descended from the same ancestor? At the moment, we don't know if the Endless are connected to the precursors. It's highly speculated that they are related to the precursors, given their affinity given their hatred with the Forerunners, and given their extensive knowledge on the humans. But if the idea that the Flood and the Endless are cousins, per se, I would say it would be pretty much like an opposite. They weren't so much cousins, but more opposites of each other. Seeing as the Flood were pretty much created by precursors who were bent on rage and anger, and probably the Endless were probably created as an anti-Flood, kind of like the precursors that a few Forerunners kept alive, as revealed in Point of Light. But at the moment, we don't know any connection they have with the Flood or the precursors. Like I said, I think it's heavily implied that the Endless have some link with the precursors, but as of now, it's highly speculated at this point. Okay, so JMC20 asks, what would you feel about human enemies in the Banished in future Halo Infinite DLC? I mean, I would fully welcome that, honestly. We haven't really encountered enemy human AIs at all in Halo. And seeing them affiliated with the Banished would honestly be really cool, seeing as there are... Oh, hold on a minute. Okay. Yes, we'll join him. But yeah, seeing as there are humans within the Banished, I would definitely welcome seeing enemy human AIs. I could definitely see them sporting more Banished style armor. It could definitely differentiate between them and the UNSC Marines and all that stuff. But yeah, I would definitely welcome any human enemy, enemy human AIs. I'm so sorry, guys. It's a Sunday and I'm losing my mind. All right. So, Defiant Zeno asks, who would win? I have no idea who these people are, so I'm gonna skip that question, Zeno. I am so sorry. Alistair asks, what is your opinion on Ruby's rebalanced Halo mods? I unfortunately have no idea what those are, so I'm just going to say I have no idea. Okay, so next question. Brutus asks, what would the Swords of Saint Helios doctrine be then, seeing as the Covenant doctrine is kind of irrelevant now after the war? What we know of the Swords of Saint Helios doctrine is pretty much rejection of the Covenant faith. The biggest military doctrine change they have thus far is both allowing females into their military, thanks to the efforts of Tool Duran, and as you saw in Halo 5, they allow medics this time instead of letting their soldiers die with honor. But apart from that, I don't really think there's any other doctrines within the Swords of Saint Helios that we know of thus far. But I could be wrong. So yeah. Okay, so Lord Archeon asks, do you think it would be logical for some Saint Healy splinter groups like the Swords of Saint Helios to design their own mech suits, something like a Saint Healy version of Battletech elementals that could be useful at dealing with both infantry and vehicles, seeing as the Unsc uses mechs like the Mantis and effectively used before. They do have mechs, but it's not for the Saint Healy, but for the Ungoi, the goblins, and they were used before, and they were used during the Covenant War, apparently, according to the encyclopedia. So yeah. And his second question is, that's not really a question. Okay, so moving on. Alistair asks, how would imagine a clash between energy swords and lightsabers would actually be as a result of them clashing together? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea what an energy sword and a lightsaber would clash be like. But seeing as lightsabers are much stronger than energy swords, I would say the lightsaber would probably cut through the plasma within an energy sword. But that's my limited understanding of Star Wars stuff, really. Okay, so Lord Archeon asks, right, that's not really a question. I'm just gonna move on. Okay, so Brutus asks, what would the Banished Spartan members look like? They would probably look like how Brutes and Elites would probably look like in Halo Wars 2. Or maybe in Halo Infinite. I mean, the armor of Spartan Din in the Season 2 armor, his armor pretty much looked kind of like as I would expect a Banished Spartan would look like, really. Oh, hold on. Let me get off. All right, come on. My ghost. Okay. All right. I'm just going to go out to this tunnel. All right, so Alistair asked, are you sad that the Prometheans have been sidelined in recent times? Yeah, I kind of miss the Prometheans, really. Like I said throughout this entire stream, I do not like the Flood. I much prefer the Prometheans over the Flood. But in terms of actual enemy combatants, I really would like to see Prometheans return in any DLC or any other game apart from Infinite. I just want to see the knights come back. Those are my favorite enemy types from Halo 4 and 5, and I would kill to have them back, really. Okay, so Defiant asks, what would happen if the Banished found a portal that brought them to another universe and not just Halo? No idea. They would probably still be doing what the Banished do best. They would probably pick a fight with someone, like the Covenant, like an alternate Covenant, or hell, maybe the Empire from Star Wars or anything like that. I honestly have no idea, really. Okay, so Mitsu asks, has Nakai ever tried human food? Nakai has not tried human food, and thank you for the correction there on your name pronunciation. I'm sorry, guys. I suck with pronunciations. But yeah, Nakai has not tried any human food. To my knowledge, no, he has not. I might retcon it someday, but at the moment, no, Nakai has not tried any human food. Okay, so Brutus asks, would the swords benefit from training with humans or Spartan training, since their doctrine relies heavily on rushing in no matter what? As a matter of fact, the swords and Spartans are actually training alongside each other on Anvil Station as part of the Anvil Initiative. So yeah, the swords are training alongside Spartans right now. So yeah, I would imagine the swords would definitely be learning from Spartans over the course of the post-war era up until the Created Uprising. Come on. All right. Come on, let me pass. Oh, die, you freaking literal pieces of shit. There we go. Oh, please don't tell me I have to kill these guys. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me pass, please. There we go. All right, so what is the next question? Pack Hunter 117 asks, who would win an alternate universe battle? The Covenant at their full height versus the Banished at their full height? Oh my god, why is this guy still here? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry about this. There is a freaking spammer right now, and it's really annoying now. Okay. There we go. Sorry about this, guys. This troll here is being a pain in the ass right now. I deeply apologize for that. But in terms of a full-scale battle, I see the main thing is the Banished never really won a confrontational moment with the Covenant, like even in their beginning years. So at the height of their power, I honestly would think Atriox would still use the same tactics as he used in the core canon. Hold on, let me just hijack this Scorpion. There we go. Grabbing this tank here. Oh. Sorry, just gotta take care of these guys for 1 second. Yeah. For those of you in the YouTube chat, yes, I do realize. I've also reported that the spammer a bunch of times as well. I don't know what's going on with him, so I do apologize. I will try my best to get rid of him as quickly as possible. But for now, I deeply beg your indulgence at this time. Oh my god, freaking these big ass sentinel bosses, they will not freaking stop. Come on. There we go. All right, so now I've got to take care of that. Let's proceed forward. All right, so okay, so this is, okay, that's another. All right, I'm just gonna skip Xenos because honestly, let's try, and for those of you in Discord, let's try to avoid like alternate battles because honestly, I honestly have no idea who would win at this for Star Wars against Halo stuff because honestly, I'm not that knowledgeable with the Star Wars factions to really pit them in a battle against stuff. So please, let's keep it to more relevant questions. Thank you very much. Okay, so Paratham, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I know Imperial Admirals was the second highest rank within the Covenant. Where does Spec Ops Commander and Field Master fit in the ranks? The second highest rank within the Covenant military, to my knowledge, has to be either a Supreme Commander or an Arbiter, despite the fact that they're like disgraced Saint Healy warriors. That's the closest thing I could have to a second highest rank within the Covenant military. In terms of Spec Ops Commander, they pretty much run all Spec Ops operations within a fleet. And Field Masters are pretty much generals, pretty much, in everything but name. Leading large-scale ground forces. They're pretty much the second highest rank for Saint Healy within ground operations, to my knowledge. Whoa. Okay, there we go. All right, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, this is for Kaidan Nakai Vodar. How good of a shot are you exactly? Because I seem more like a sword fighter than a gunslinger. In terms of Nakai lore-wise, I would say Nakai is a pretty decent shot in terms of weaponry, but I would say his favorite weapon is the energy sword. He's always like, I wouldn't say he's a blade master per se, but I would say he prefers using the energy sword as a preferred weapon. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Let me take care of these sentinels. All right. Sorry about that. Just take care of these. Son of a, oh my god. Sorry. I gotta run. Gotta run. Sorry. Ugh. All right. I'm getting out of here. All right, now that we got that, let's get this out of the way. Right, JMC asked, speaking of Anvil Station, what would you think of a Halo TV series set on Anvil Station, and would you like it to be similar to Star Trek Deep Space Nine, with elites and Spartans training and relaxing relaxing in a bar owned by a Kig-Yar? I mean, I wouldn't say a Kig-Yar would own a bar per se. Maybe an Ungoi, or maybe a Yonhet, maybe, because that's the only species I would see operating a bar. But yeah, I would definitely love to see a Deep Space Nine TV series I would definitely love to see a TV series like Deep Space Nine focused on the Anvil Initiative. I would definitely love to see that. Oh, hold on. Gotta take care of this Gauss hog. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so... Right. go. Okay, so Lord Archeon asks another question. Why do you think the Covenant never designed a Wraith variant that was equipped with a Covenant direct fire tank gun instead of an indirect plasma mortar? No idea. Probably because of because of their the Sanchum's doctrine, maybe. That's the only thing I could closely guess on why they wouldn't add a point defense plasma. Oh my god, why is this? Okay, this is bothering me. This dude is not. Urtos is trying to get into that Spectre, and the driver's like speeding away right now. Hold on, this is bothering me right now. All right, get out. There you go. There we go. Sorry, it was bothering the hell out of me. Oh, for YouTube, Kamenite. The Unheads are pretty much are a race that was introduced in Halo Nightfall. They pretty much look like a aquatic humanoid species. They were part of the Covenant Fringe. Pretty much a collection of alien races the Covenant really just used as labor, pretty much. They didn't do anything. Oh my god, hold on a second. This guy's back. Hide. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. This guy is back again. I don't know what I need to do to get this guy to fuck off. Sorry for my language. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me take care of this big ass aggressor, this big Sentinel boss. Okay. Right. Where was my question again? Hold on. Okay, so what are your hopes for the Obi-Wan show? More Darth Vader action, more Empire stuff. More Empire stuff is definitely what I want to see. I definitely want to see some more Imperial political stuff in there. I always found those interesting. And, yeah, like I said, more Darth Vader. And I really hope James Earl Jones returns as voicing Darth Vader. Like, honestly, I really want James Earl Jones to be Vader again. Okay. So, Defiant Xeno asks, who are the Shields of Requiem and would they join the Banished? So, favorites the Shields of Requiem, they're pretty much what remains of Jewel and Dama's group after its fall. Oh wait, no, actually, after the destruction of Requiem, the Shields of Requiem pretty much became a mercenary group that fought for money, but still retaining the beliefs of Jewel and Dama's group. And in terms of joining the Banished, I mean, it's possible. I could definitely see, like, the Banished employed the Keepers of the One Freedom in their ranks, and they were religious zealots, and if they could accept them into the Banished, I mean, the Shields of Requiem, I mean, it's definitely plausible. Okay. Defiant Xeno asks, what if the Flood infected drones? I mean, they would probably look like very grotesque bugs. I mean, not like the bugs we see nowadays, really. But I digress. Okay, so Lord Archeon asks, do you think there have ever been efforts by the Saint Healy to use genetic augmentations to make their own super soldiers? We know the Covenant had techs to do that to make the prelates, Do you think the Saint Healy, assuming the prophets allowed it, pursued super soldiers, or would they see it as dishonorable and unnatural? Yeah, I could definitely see the Saint Healy seeing as it as a dishonorable tactic. The Saint Healy view more honorable Saint Healy battle prowess rather than upgrading themselves like the Sanshum did with prelates. I can definitely see Saint Healy frowning upon the use of augmentations. They prefer more proving their merit in battle rather than upgrading themselves. I think they would. Besides, it would also involve medical use, which the Saint Healy would also view as dishonorable. Oh my God! Hold on. I am so sorry. This guy is popping up again and again and again. I don't know what I have to do to get rid of him, but he just won't leave us alone. Leave us alone, you spammer. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Where was I? Okay, man, you guys are going all out on the questions here on Discord. Okay, to Vodar, what banished ship do the Banished have in their fleet so far? So, currently at the moment, the Banished have some CCS class battlecruisers. They have some destroyers, a supercarrier. They obviously have their dreadnoughts that we saw from Halo Infinite. We have Carves. They're pretty much banished invasion ships. We also have what else? We have intrusion corvettes, and we have the Drekar, the prowler variant of the stealth variant of a prowler, pretty much. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of that. In terms of their fleet capabilities. All right. So Brutus asks, would Nakai benefit from... Would Nakai... Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Would Nakai Vodar benefit from a bit of training with Spartans on how to shoot straight? I mean, he would probably welcome the additional training, I guess. Okay, so Defiant Zeno asks, what would Nakai be like? What would Nakai be like if his forces encountered a Scarab with a Tyrant AA cannon on it? He would probably encourage his forces to back off, pretty much. He would concentrate all his efforts to... Oh, okay. That was bad. But yeah, generally, I honestly think Nakai would pretty much have his troops retreat and order he would probably have all his ground forces open up on the Phantom, on the Scarab, I mean, with rates, anti-aircraft, anti-vehicle weapons like fuel rod cannon and all that stuff. Okay, so Nomad Galileo asks, does Nakai have a private ship like a space yacht or something? No, he doesn't. He just have like phantoms and general stuff. He's not like a prophet and all that. He doesn't have anything like that, so yeah. Okay, so Pack Hunter asks, why were Elite Rangers in Halo Wars 2 not using EVA armor? Honestly, in terms of that, I think that's just general game design, pretty much. I think they just wanted to give elites a look. Like, I honestly don't know why they called them Rangers while they didn't even have any of the Ranger armor, pretty much. It's kind of weird to me. And he also asked, wouldn't brute jumpers in Halo Wars 2 be super big targets if they're using gravity hammers instead of spikers, brute shots, etc.? And yeah, they would. Honestly, I don't know why they would wield hammers in large spaces, maybe in close quarters combat, maybe, but in terms of open environments, nah. But why would banished brutes use okay, what was the reasoning for banished giving jetpacks to captains instead of retaining a dedicated jumper unit? I think that's just gameplay. I think that's just gameplay decisions, really. I honestly have no idea why they would give captains jetpacks instead of normal brutes jumpers. I honestly have no idea. So Mitsu asks, are there any former Covenant species in Vodar, such as Mechalagolo, or Hargok and others? Yes, there are a Mechalagolo pair known as Swarm serving under Vodar, but that's only one Mechalagolo bond pair. And there are two Hargok in Vodar right now, which will be explored a little bit in War-Torn Chapter 2. Basically, the two Hargoks were part of Nakai's crew before the Covenant collapsed, and they pretty much stayed along with him after the Covenant collapsed. Okay, so Lord Archeon asks, what would you think of a game set during the War Beginnings, having the perspective of how society and technology was like for the Saint Healy and the San Shum? Yeah, I would love to see a game focused on the origins of the Covenant and how it was for all of them. Based on the information that we got from the Halo Encyclopedia, I would love to see some of that stuff brought to life, really. Oh, hold on. I know I'm a heretic, I'm using a battle rifle, but I'm losing ammo right now. Yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah. Ah. Come on. My God, there's a bunch of them with freaking swords. All right. Oh, sorry if I'm not catching up with these questions. Sorry. I again have to address this spammer. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I honestly don't know what to do with him. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to deal with him, but honestly, at this point I have no idea how to deal with him. Okay, so Alistair asks, how would you imagine if Halo ever decided to step into the territory of an RPG personal game that stylized kind of like the same veins as personal Persona games? In like Skyrim? Yeah, I would definitely like to see that. Really? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so right, so what's the next question? Okay, so Praham asks, is Zaitan Jar Watinri 100 years old? He's also the tallest elite of all time, right? Yes. Zaitan is a very large brute, or not brute, Saint Healy. In terms of his age, I believe it was explored in the Halo Encyclopedia. I don't know on the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure he's not over 100. I think he's definitely old, but I don't think he's like that old. But yeah. Okay, so Brutus asks, how good is Nakai at piloting a Banshee if ever he was in a dogfight? I mean, he's pretty good. I would say he's a pretty good Banshee pilot. I wouldn't say he's anywhere near the same level as like any experienced pilots like the red Saint Healy Baron from Halo 5, but I would say he's pretty decent. Okay, so Defiant Zeno asks, and speaking of that, why were there elites with carbines instead of storm rifles? Gameplay reasons. I honestly have no idea why they would change weapons and all that. It's mostly a gameplay reason, really. And Alistair asks, would you like to see playable brutes as an actual thing? Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing playable brutes alongside playable elites, grunts, jackals, and all other Covenant races. I would definitely love seeing that, really. Okay, Defiant Zeno asks, why was Atriox going to kill both Pavium and Vord? Why was Atriox going to kill both Pavium and Vortis on the Ark? I mean, Pavium was following Atriox's orders. Atriox wanted to kill them pretty much because Vortis obviously defied orders and released the flood from High Charity, and Pavium because he couldn't keep his brother in check. He pretty much allowed his brother to go off on his own to compromise the entire banished operations on the Ark, pretty much. So, yeah. Okay, so Mitsu asks, when not in combat or when not lead when I'm sorry, I have to read this again. I'm terribly sorry. When not in combat or leading in public, what are Nakai Vodar's favorite pastimes and hobbies? When not doing his usual Kaidan duties, I would say Nakai's favorite pastime was pretty much reading up on history from the scrolls of Vodar Keep and studying up on history in terms of human history. He's always been interested in human history, seeing as Saint Healy and human histories are pretty much similar. He's always been fascinated by the comparisons. So he usually would study up on histories such as the ancient Spartans of Greece, the Vikings of Norway, the samurai from Japan, and pretty much comparing them to the cultures within St. Helios. So yeah. Okay, so Alistair asks, how would imagine the Didact Cortana and the Warden Eternal working together? The Didact would not work with Cortana or the Warden because he believes the mantle belongs to the Forerunners alone and no one else. And Cortana and the Warden would pretty much be completely at odds with the Didact in that respect alone. So I can't imagine them ever working together. All right, so Steve asks, do you think high-ranking Saint Healy can ever atone for what they did while in the Covenant? Glassing planets, mass genocide is a lot. Yeah, I don't think they can atone. I think they can try to make up for what they did by redemption or atonement. No, I don't think so. The Saint Healy shipmaster from the Return, he was pretty much ashamed of what he did during the war, but I don't think at this point, any race, any Saint Healy commander can really atone for what they did during the war, really. Okay, so Defiant Zeno asks, do the Banished have revenants in their forces? Not officially, I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did have some in some Saint Healy colony or something like that. So yeah. Okay, so I think Brutus, Pack Hunter, and Mitsu are gonna be doing up their questions next. Or nope, it's just Brutus and Pack Hunter. After these questions, I think I'm going to call it for today. Sorry again, guys, for YouTube for that spam caller. I honestly, I've tried my best to get rid of him. I don't know why he's popping up again. I honestly have no idea. I do apologize if he's like distracting the comments right here. But yeah. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, is there any way humanity and the Saint Healy will ever be at ease with each other? It's going to take a long while for that to happen. Decades, maybe even a century before the Saint Healy and humans are at a very amicable level right now, because like they were at war for nearly 30 years with the Saint Healy pretty much killing millions of their people. Like that right there, that's going to take a long time to let go, really. Okay, so all right. So if you guys have any remaining questions, please type them in Discord within the next 5 minutes or so, because after that I will end the stream. Okay, so hold on. Before I do that, actually, Mr. Game in Chat asks, why are the Endless more dangerous than the Flood when it been the Flood being the most dangerous thing in the universe? Honestly, we have no idea why the Endless are more dangerous than the Flood. I think it's not so much dangerous in terms of galaxy-wide danger, because they survived the Halos. If they can survive that, the deadliest weapon the Forerunners ever built, what else are they capable of? But at the moment, we don't know much. So, yeah. Okay, so Mitsu asks, one last question. A personal question from Mitsu. Sorry again about the pronunciation. Sorry, to Nakai. Can the Ungoi get codes to help win the code in Vodar? I mean, if you purchase them, yeah, you can. Or make any deal with any trader. I mean, yeah, sure, you can do that, I guess. Okay, so Pack Hunter asks, could the Covenant ever use bows and crossbows? I don't like, the closest thing the Saint Healy ever used for crossbows was in Halo Broken Circle. They did had the Usan Saint Healy did had a crossbow type weapon. I can't remember the top of my head what the name of the weapon was, but they did had a crossbow kind of weapon. And his second question is, what are your thoughts on Halo Evolutions episode, The Return? Short answer, it's my favorite of the entire series, and I will not be disputed. The Return is excellent, even better than the Mona Lisa. Yep, I said it. I'm not taking it back. Okay, so Alistair asks, what are your thoughts on some people saying the Fall of Reach book was actually one that broke Halo lore because it mentioned that the elites and hunters weren't seen prior to Reach? I don't recall any people ever saying that. I think I think people have been very against Halo Reach as breaking the lore. But I don't think I've ever seen people commenting that the Fall of Reach book was breaking the lore in any way, shape, or form. But yeah. Okay, so Steve asks, will we... No, I'm going to skip that question. That's not really relevant. JMC asks, How would Thelvadon react to fighting an elite rival wearing an evil version of the Arbiter armor in in psychological tactic? Honestly, I think it would just fight him like any other enemy. I don't think it's gonna be like Doctor Strange or anything like that, like in the new Multiverse of Madness movie. Honestly, so yeah. Okay, so Pack Hunter asks. Okay, this is the last question I'm gonna answer before I head out. In theory, could a hunter or mecha like Golo use a giant heavy version of an energy shield instead of a regular shield? Could they also use a giant blamite cannon and maybe active camo or hologram tech? And why have elites with dual swords only pop up 2x in Halo lore so far? Are they really that rare? Honestly, I honestly don't have a question. I don't have an answer for most of that question, but I mean, but I do think they could use blamite cannons in any future, really. It's possible. Really? I can't really say I can't really say that much for energy shields or hologram tech or active camo, but for elites with dual wielding energy swords, gameplay reasons, really, I honestly don't know if they're that rare. They're not really that rare in terms of lore. They're just not shown that much in Halo games, really. So yeah. But yeah, I think that will do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Sorry it was a little late today. It's Mother's Day today, and I had a really busy schedule today, and I'm glad I was able to bring this live stream to you guys today. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything brought on here. I hope you guys enjoyed that I used Halo 2 Anniversary instead of Halo Infinite. Yeah, I hope you guys have a very wonderful day. And as always, if you guys want to see more, of these live streams, pop on by to the Discord section within Covenant Canon. If you guys don't know where that is, it's in the description below. And you can join up and just answer your questions and honestly just have a good time with the Covenant Canon community, really. I'm active on there for the most part. And I'll be glad to answer any questions in the future. But as always, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to click on this. Be sure to click on the bell for notifications because, like I said earlier today, I will be doing a video on the Covenant Fringe, and I will also. Oh, right. Thank you, Halo Pro. I gotta finish this up first before I do anything else. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna finish this up right here. There we go. Haha, there we go. Thank you, Halo Pro. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, hope you guys have a very wonderful day. And until next time, guys, may the light of Urus shine down upon you all. Victory to Clan and Kin Covenant fans. This is Nakai Vodar, signing off. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on one moment. Sorry about that. And until next time, like I said, see you guys next time. This is Nakai Vodar, signing off.